Welcome everybody to the B Podcast, the podcast of the Barcelona International Dance Exchange. Today, in our episode number 125, we have as a guest Pablo Salvador. Pablo, bienvenido, welcome.
Hey, Sebas. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, we start always with our guests asking them about who they are, So, then we will talk about what you do. That is tons of things, like a lot of our colleagues in common. But if you can share with the audience a bit of who is Pablo behind the choreographer, dancers, director, and blah blah blah. Nowadays, not define yourself, but describing, so to speak.
I guess I would describe myself in relation to where I'm from. So I was born in Wellington, New Zealand, which is in a small capital of a small country in the Pacific. And so I grew up there till I was 17 in Auckland. And then, one of three, eldest of the family. My father's from Barcelona, my mother's from New Zealand. And I guess nature and creativity was part of my upbringing. And also living in a country where there's a lot of space and I felt quite comfortable to be able to express myself. And from there, left Europe when I was 17 and left New Zealand, when I was 17 and went over to live across Europe mostly. So I've traveled a lot over the years and bumped into many people, and I guess that's helped define my character or what I value or how I see the world through other people's work.
Great. And is it still a trace of this young Pablo from New Zealand? Because, besides what we know about, of course, the movies, the rugby, the Maori culture, etc. But this kind of a place that is really far away, and I didn't met people from New Zealand that much, but people from Australia, and they used to say, okay, we are in the other side of the planet, so to speak, So if a trace of nowadays of this young Pablo that left the country so long ago.
Yeah, you don't want to hang out with Australians. So New Zealanders are much better. But yeah, playfulness is a joy, and I guess maybe a little bit of naivety in New Zealand, and then of course that freedom as well. And also that get up and go and do it kind of spirit of if you don't do it, no one else will, or just knocking on doors and finding solutions and taking initiative. I think Kiwis are pretty kind of self-reliant, and that sort of spirit I try and take with me through the field of play, dance, creation, and artistic expression. So just that Kiwi go and get it sort of attitude.
Okay. And with this kind of gypsy style, because you travel a lot. I travel a lot, but I think that you, Pablo, travel more than me. but what do you think that you are bringing to the performing arts ecosystem? What is your... Sometimes we make the analogy about, the spice, or the recipe or sound. So, so what do you think is your offering to this performing art ecosystem that you are so relate and so commit to?
I guess it's a long journey, and it's kind of transformed over the years from when I started when I was 7 years old, going to the ballet school and finding important teachers that kind of laid the foundation, Melinda and Heather Palmer at Mount Eden Ballet Academy in Auckland, and then moving on to decide to try and make a career out of dance, training at Rhombus School, graduating, and then going on to be a dancer for 13 years across Europe. Kind of that's my dance world, and of course during that time I took the opportunity to create works and kind of take initiatives and establish an association, a non-profit organization, and then I was also interested how I could use my tools in dance and other elements. So not just as a dancer, but doing a degree in design innovation with a open university in the UK was kind of, it took me 7 years to complete, but
Wow.
you get there eventually if you're kind of working full time and studying part time. and then also going on to do a degree in product design. So that kind of formed my vision of how things work. Then eventually going and teaching classes for dance companies, choreographing works, facilitating other dancers, choreographies to work, and then eventually having a venue, and then being able to support dancers to make their own work and premiere their work, and also having eventually trying to have a little program, yearly program, and then finally after 4 or 5 years, we did our first dance festival in July, a 4-day dance festival. So that went really well. So it's a whole process and transformation of shifting through. The skills as a dancer have supported me a lot. Just that team spirit, that initiative, and that kind of persistence and problem solving. There's so many problems always, but solution oriented mindset is valuable. Yeah, but it's not a walk in the park, but it's a privilege to be able to do this sort of work.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I like what you just said, because we spoke the same with Maria, no? That uh, it's not the usual to be in this line of work, with people who are kind of problem solving mindset, personalities, or attitude, or however you want to call it. um, and it's nice when you 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 meet somebody like you, or I think I'm the same type of guy, that because people tend to be complaining or arguing, especially in this country,
Mm.
where the second sport, I would say, the first sport is football, of course, and the
Sure.
second one is complaining, so
Sure.
so
I
it's
mean,
hmm,
whether you complain or not, it's okay to complain, but it is important to take initiative to solve. So,
absolutely, yeah.
yeah, I mean, and if it's complaining that leads to some positive result, if it helps, then go for it. But
Yeah,
usually, the people that get furthest don't complain; they just do something. That's what I
totally,
try to live by.
totally. And um, the next question is about from where you draw the inspiration from, because I mean, uh, you have many hats,
Mm.
and as you said, you build up all this, you know, path, that drive you to nowadays your nowadays position, where you are also holding a part of the place that we
Mm.
will be talking later, and also creating for some other people, and holding all the stuff that you are doing, that is amazing. But where is the inspiration
Mm.
for you, when you are not,
Mm.
you are like the Pablo,
Mm.
let's say, creative mind
Mm.
person, on stage or
Mm.
into the dance studio.
I guess connected with people is the main thing.
Mm.
Connecting with souls, personalities, backgrounds, cultures, artistic ideas. Whether it's a dancer working with another dancer, or a choreographer working with a dancer, or production, or a festival. That human connection is what brings people together, and what dance is really good at doing and really good
Mm.
at sharing. And that's what I love about the job. Most people really want to make dance, and that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, being around creative minds is also fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be challenging, as can be anticipated, and also, yeah, bring it into the landscape, bring dance. Of course, when in ballet it was like for the elite, and then you have dance, which is also a form of resistance. So bringing dance, trying to represent all its faces,
Mm.
and all of its embodiments. Is I came from a more maybe balletic or contemporary dance background, but as the years go on, I try and embrace or kind of take note of the diversity of dance, which is completely there, but um, yeah, is one of its strengths, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. And following your reflection, where is the connection nowadays? Connect with people, change.
Mm.
And when we met together was right. quite easy because we start to speak in Spanish, in English, and then we say, where are you living, Barcelona? So we switch immediately to Spanish, and but it's not the usual. People in our line of work, and also made a joke about they start to make the dropping names, like do you know blah 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 blah, and you was at the ta 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 festival, and you take the class of blah 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 blah. So and I'm sure that you are not this type of person, and this is where I'm just guessing, where is your take in this? Where is the connection nowadays?
Through dance.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's very personal. It's such a as dancers, it's a tough life to be a dancer, and it's so brief. I would say good question. I guess the honesty eventually comes out. I mean, you can't really hide behind your dancing. I'd say it, and whether you're hiding behind a choreography or dancing or anything, it's also transparent. It's also direct. That's that kind of connection, or that when I talk to the audience after the show and just try and feel how they got the show. Audience want to connect, and they want to experience and taste and flavor. So that kind of that open space where we can express ourselves is very valuable, and needs to be protected and supported and nurtured. And whether that's through journalism or films or singing or music or dance, then I'll wave the flag for dance for sure.
Great. And I'm following this train of thoughts. What are you questioning at this point of your life? Considering all the experience that you already get, and the place and the person that you are nowadays.
What am I questioning? I mean, I've dedicated most of my life to dance, and of course, as the longer I stay in the dance world, the more kind of thickly you get into it, and it's just important. At a few years where it was a bit of a overwhelming and a bit too much, and I started to not enjoy it, so I had to find a better work-life balance, and that was kind of a good reflection moment, and also having time for family and friends, whether it's me sharing my love of dance with them or just kind of taking a bit of space to be able to go back to all the elements of creating, supporting, seeing, valuing, and sharing dance. So finding the right balance is important, but I'm lucky with the job, and I enjoy the challenge of how many different responsibilities or capacities it requires, and I also realize my weak points and strong points, whether it's knowing how to communicate clearly or to anticipate things or to support a team. Those points I've been enjoying the improvement of, and it's a kind of never-ending game or challenge in that sense. So dance stimulates me, and I believe it will going into the future. Let's see how the game goes, but staying playful is crucial.
And about this question that you made to yourself, how many times have you thought about quitting or leaving this? Because I mean, you also have this relationship with ballet that some people from the contemporary dance, maybe or performing arts, don't have the idea how not easy it used to be, and used to be. So sorry, it's not an easy path to take. Also nowadays. So, do you have some moment of maybe I don't know, I fly back to New Zealand and I don't know, I dedicate myself to whatever.
So I came over to Barcelona. I was 17. Went to found a teacher here, trained hard as I could, and I remember having this experience where I was on the plane, because when I left New Zealand, my teachers, my family said goodbye, all the best. Hope you have a great life, a great career, la la la. And of course, you put pressure on yourself as a young kid, and you're quite naive. But I remember like having this experience of getting back on the plane, arriving back in New Zealand, and having to apologize that I didn't make it, I didn't manage, and I just didn't have it in me. and it was such a clear, vivid dream of this dream that I was like
Mm.
heartbroken that how did I not figure it out? And fortunately, I woke up, and that kind of triggered me like, I'm still here. I still have a chance to like, push it forward. And that dream was quite crucial, I have to say, in just saying, get on with it, and don't think too much. I mean, of course, treat yourself well and treat people around you well. But that dream kind of was a catalyst to say, don't stop yet. And that, yeah, that helped me a lot.
Mm.
And then having, but to quit, of course, you have to find something that you're happy to do and you're happy to. I'd say it's really important to find something you're worth happy to suffer for.
Mm.
Whether you're happy to suffer for, I know, teaching kids, or you're happy to suffer for building beautiful homes, or you're happy to suffer for. You have to find something worth suffering for.
Mm.
Um, Life isn't all about suffering, but I'm happy to suffer for dance.
Mm. Mm. Okay. And all the way around, taking the other side. What is, if you remember one of the moment that you also realize that you can do it?
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Maybe you have more than one. Usually
Mm.
we have more than one, and I tend to say also, that this moment comes when you are doing the more, I don't know, ordinary things, cleaning
Mm.
the plate, doing the dishes, or
Mm. Mm.
drinking a coffee, not when you are reading, I don't know, Proust or whatever,
Yeah.
do you remember one of, you can share with us one moment and say, yeah, Pablo, let's go.
Um, yeah, I guess what people usually see is all your successes.
Yeah.
So they see, which is usually maybe 20%, and they don't see the other 80% of all the things that didn't work and all
Mm.
those failures. So my persistence at chipping away, I guess, yeah, when people start contacting you, having high expectations of you, needing more things from you, I guess that's an acknowledgement of being able to support people, but also some success. I have to say, realizing the festival for the first time was something I always wanted to do for many years, and getting that together and realizing it in such a good way for the first edition was really wonderful. And that was, and then when you get, I know, when the press come and talk to you, or they want interviews or magazines and stuff like that. I mean, it's a small little city where in Ulm where we do dance, so it's nothing in London or Madrid or something like that, or Barcelona even, but just that recognition. And yeah, it came together after a lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it's a nice reward, but it's also I shouldn't be doing it for that recognition. It's you should find something you want to do to satisfy your own recognition. Just like as a dancer, you should. I mean, you like to dance, but I dance for myself, and I could share that with other people. If you're dancing
Mm-hmm.
for something else or someone else, it may drive you for a certain amount of time, but at the end of the day, um, do it for yourself.
Great. And one more question in this from this family of sharing. Um, do you remember one moment that say, "Oh, this is one of my fuck up moment," or
Mm.
"This is a huge mistake"? I don't know. Again, don't need to be in the opera, royal ballet, or whatever. Can be something absolutely.
For
Well,
sure.
I think it's interesting. Then I be coming back to your reflection about what is success.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So I had a chorelab project where I'd connect three dancers, three choreographers, would make a short piece and make a short bill, and I put together the budget myself, and yeah, everyone had their kind of fees. And then at the end of the budget, when everything had done their work and I was making the payments and going through the numbers, I realized I'd made a mistake and I'd left out one dancer in the budget. I was like, shit, like crap. Obviously the dancer needs to be paid. So that was my fee went straight to the dancer. And
Mm.
that little example was just, when you're taking on responsibility, you'll make mistakes. And of course, now I double check Excels and the numbers. But it was a good learning curve. I did that project for free. And
Yeah,
yeah, just, yeah, there's no other way of learning. There's no shortcuts. The shortcuts are just by doing.
totally. And let me get back to the success. topic that you bring to the table, uh, because nowadays is quite of a, you know, kind of a goal, you know. And of course, I have my point of view about what is being success, and I intend to also to go to the regular things, you know. I mean, but before I say what I think about it, because I don't want you,
Be informed.
you know, drive you to this reflection, is what is your I mean your take on success? What is your success for you, you know, nowadays?
I guess my persistence, having to be able to keep chipping away, and to eventually get some things working and going. I
Yeah.
mean, the longer I'm on the planet, the longer I realize it's a long game, and the more I realize, the less time I have. So I guess success, it's all relative, it's all perspective. Someone might call me successful. I might see myself not. It's a bit hypothetical, a bit trivial. But at the end of the day, if you're happy with the direction you're going and the things you're doing and the effects it's having on society
Mm.
and the benefits, and it's cool. Of course, it's really nice when a choreographer says, "Oh, I really appreciate that. Thanks for supporting this. It's really valuable." That's lovely acknowledgement, and it's good encouragement. Um, but I would only have the power to do it if I had it from myself. And so, yeah, to rely on yourself is probably the best tip. Of course, you can only go far with support from other people, and that's the bigger things you want to do, the more teams you have to put together, and that's always beautiful to bring teams together. But success is shared, and success is temporary, and success is relative. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, and just you open a bit.
You were going to answer what success was.
Ah, yeah, yeah, you're right. For me, I mean, I always say the same. You know, I mean that this clothes that I have, you know, and this laptop that I used to record the podcast, and the food that I ate during lunchtime,
Mm,
it was paid by my work
mm,
as a dance creator. You know,
mm,
for me, this is success. You
mm,
know, and take the chance to, you know, take a shower every day,
mm,
eat 3 times a day. You know, but basically also be surrounded by people that I love,
mm,
and knowing that when I be 70 or 80, nobody cares about in what theater I perform or what festival I attend or blah blah blah. It should be close with friends that it
mm,
really means a lot for you and you means a lot for them. So this is for me success
mm,
rather than the flashlights, you know.
mm.
So
Nice.
thank you
Thank you for
to
sharing.
point it as to point me this. So um before we go to the end, I would like to give you some space to ask you about, because you do a lot of things, and I would love to know, especially not know, but that the audience also knows a bit about what you are doing in home,
Mm,
because you are, you know,
mm,
going all the time back and forth,
mm,
because it's a big space and
mm,
you are doing a tremendous work there, and I would
mm.
love to, if you can share what is going on there.
So I work at a cultural center called Roxy. It's an old factory, and inside that we have one big theater, and then we have a small theater with 100 seats, and then we have a little residency space, and we have an outdoor space, and it's lovely to be in a cultural center. We're about a staff of 20, 25 people, and I coordinate the dance element of that, and we call that Tanzlabor. So I work inside Roxy, and I coordinate the Tanzlabor project. Tanzlabor started in 2021, sorry, with the support of Tanzpact Reconnect from Berlin, and that allowed our venue Roxy to implement a new stage and create space that supported dance. Um, uh, Roxy is a venue most known and famous for its music, so bringing in dance consistently over a year is something new and is developing and creating audience for that. And Ulm is small, 150,000 roundabout, so it's not like Munich or Berlin or
Mm-hmm.
Frankfurt. So we're kind of punching above our weights. But what we'd like to do is we have a Show Me Your Moves evening, which is a showcase of short works. We have residencies for 1, 2, 3 weeks. We do co-productions. We have sometimes we can invite people, and we support the local dance makers in Ulm, from Baden-Württemberg, from Germany, and beyond. So we try and join forces. And then since this year, we have the Zant Festival. So Zant is a 4-day festival. We invited maybe 60 artists from across Europe, which is lovely, and beyond. And that's just a celebration of dance. And my challenge as a kind of coordinator or facilitator to try and show the widest breadth of dance. That's kind of my goal each year, and to also collaborate with different organizations in the city or beyond. And then we do another project, CoreLab, which is a
This is what I was.
platform. Exactly. The
Yeah.
CoreLab platform started in 2019, and it's a yearly platform where we bring together 3 or 4 choreographers, and we bring together 4 dancers, and each choreographer recommends one dancer, so everyone has a kind of a say in the sort of team, and then maybe the fourth dancer is coordinated between the choreographers. And this year it was lovely. We had a partner with Cortisol in The Hague, so they suggested a choreographer, Lea Vid, and then I, on behalf of Germany, suggested Caroline Strechele, and then we had Teatro Nacional de Catalunya that put forward Lorena Nogal. And so these 3 powerhouse women dance makers made a wonderful piece called Inspired by Play, the theme of play. And so we put together 3 short pieces of 20 works. We produced them, premiered them in Ulm, had a couple of shows, went to Holland, and then we had our last show in Barcelona. So it was a format that could bring together venues supporting their choreographers to make their work in Germany that went on to go performed in across the other partnering venues. So the format works very well and is mutually beneficial, and is a good challenge for the whole team altogether.
Super. And what would, after all this amazing sharing from your side, uh, what do you feel is the 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 what is coming back to you from all the stuff that you are involved, all the dance classes, creations, but also reflections. You have a quote from Carl Jung in your web that is not the usual. I'm a big Carl Jung also fan. So beside the dance maker, I mean the Pablo person, the Pablo emotional animal, so to speak. What do you feel as the back from all the things that you are doing?
Um, hmm. I feel like I like to make things and like to initiate things and plant things and cater to them and help them grow and develop. So as long as I'm making something grow, I feel challenged and inspired and kind of nudged. And this is important for me. As if there's repetition, I start to get a little bit cautious and I feel, oh, do I need to mix it up or change it up? And I'm lucky with what Ulm and Roxy and Germany's given me. I'd like to stretch a bit beyond that to think more European scale. I really believe in the European Union and how we can have such diversity across so much history, and that's something I'd love to look into. But yeah, I guess you have to maintain stuff, but also try new stuff out. So finding the balance between initiating new projects while also making sure what works continues to work is a fun balance to try and establish, and also have fun with it and meet cool people along the way.
Okay, great. Um, so for the end, we have a ritual since 3 years ago that every guest leave a question to the next one, without knowing who will be. So you have a question for that somebody else left to you, but what do you like to ask to our next guest? Can be dance related, can be the recipe of a plate, whatever you want to
A
ask.
question or a statement?
No, a question.
A question. I would say, what are you happy to suffer for? What you're prepared to suffer for? I think that's a question I ask myself a lot. And you shouldn't avoid suffering. You should be able to hope. If we're privileged enough to choose what we want to suffer for, then that helps me navigate the direction I'm going to.
Okay, interesting topic, the suffering. So
in a positive way, of course. I mean, suffering is
yeah,
only,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I can get your
Your
point.
purpose. What do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, finding it helps find
Okay.
purpose.
So you have a question. I say first in Spanish because it's how they left to you the question, and then I translate. Anyway, you speak both languages. So the question for you is: si supieras que vas a morir mañana, ¿qué cambiarías de tu vida hoy? If you knew you are going to die tomorrow, what would you change about your life today?
Hopefully, not much. Hopefully, if I'm in the right direction and doing what I really love, yeah, I'd go out saying, oh, he had all these things planned, and he was realizing this, and this, and was connecting with these wonderful people, and yeah, hopefully make sure I laughed or did a silly, playful thing. But to be honest, I'm I think about death not often, but enough, and that make sure I kind of orientate myself in the right way. So I mean, if I was going to die tomorrow and I knew it, I'd call as many friends as I could and have as many laughter as I could, and make sure I danced a little bit, and yeah, made sure my heart was beating strongly before the final beat.
Amazing. And for the end, how you like to title? What is be the tagline of this conversation?
Tagline of this conversation, or let's get this good challenge. Um, hmm. Find what drives you. Find what purpose you want to get. Find, yeah, and if that changes, it's also fine. But whether it's purpose or suffering or direction, but just give it a good, change of your life, I imagine, and your values will change. But give it some thoughts. Yeah.
Great. So thank you so much, Pablo, to give us this space of time to know you a bit more, and also I want to say to the audience that Pablo is an absolutely amazing guy, really easy to talk, really easy to approach, and don't hesitate to send emails. He's the guy who answers emails, like
I
me.
try to as many as I can. Yeah. Even if they're short.
Yeah. But also it's a guy that like to have coffees and talk about something else, not only dance. So thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Sebastián, it was a pleasure. Thank you for initiating and always sharing and connecting, and yeah, keep up what you're doing. Thank you so much.
You are more than welcome. This was the episode number 125 or 25, and see you at the next one. Bye.